Hello, and welcome to Abby Tyler's Healthy Living. My name is Abby Tyler. I'm your host, a family nurse practitioner, a health and wellness blogger, and a community volunteer. In here, we discuss evidence based health information regarding mind, body, and soul with a holistic emphasis. Thanks for joining me on this journey of health and wellness. Please enjoy the show. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Abby Tyler's Healthy Living. My name is Abby, your Healthy Living MP. Welcome. Please share the show. Please share the show. Beautiful day in the neighborhood. Okay, so let me just get myself together here. Okay, so as you can see, today's title is Tips for Encouraging the Men in Your Life to Get Checkups. Okay, to get the checkups. Alrighty, so hello to you all again. Hope you all are doing well. As always, my disclaimer, I'm a provider, but I'm not your provider. So please do not make any changes to your regimen without first checking with your own provider, provider being your doctor, NP or PA. Okay. Okay. And also I'm trying to like raise money too because I might buy this software. So I might pay monthly. I'm just trying to, if you all can just do, send me some stars so I can just put the money back in there. So if you love what I'm doing and you want me to do more of this, just help me out with that. Okay. So whatever you can give, just give me enough stars to just, go through the month. So, but let's get into the show. Okay. Invite others, please invite others, share the show, share the show, share the show. Okay. So let's get into that. All right. So I was talking about doing this show because June is Men's Health Month, and with the next couple of weeks I'll be doing a whole series on men's health and different things to talk about. So my first thought, my first thing to do this time around was to talk about the fact that how to get the men in your life to get their checkups. Now the men could be your husband, a brother, like an adult brother you have influence over. Because if it's a younger person, if pediatric patient, the mother is probably taking them. Let me just do this here. Okay, and I'm going to turn this alarm off. Okay. Okay, so the men in your life and your husband, a brother, brother-in-law, and all that to make sure. Now, we're not saying that men are babies or little kids and all that too, that you have to cajole them into going to see the doctor. That is not being implied here. Okay, it's just the fact that the men in our lives, we love them. We want them to live happy, prosperous, and live their best, and live at their healthiest best. Okay, so if it means a little bit of because for men, for women, we go to the doctors not all the time, but most of the time women were like, okay, something's going wrong with me. I need to go to the doctors. So I was talking to one of my friends. I said, I'm going to do this show. And she was telling me, she said, the fact that her husband had been complaining of chest pain all the time, and he had to go, he was going overseas for a trip later on, and she kept saying, well, go get a check. And he's like, oh, if I go to the doctor, they're going to say something, and they're going to say something major, or I'll just go there and wasting money and all. And she said, and he, it started going on progressively, that eventually it was like every day, and sometimes he was like sweating and everything. So she said, you have to go to the doctor, you have to go to the doctor and all that. So she begged him, she said, at least before you go, since you're going to have to do a physical anyway, at least just go to the doctor and get checked. Okay, so she went, she said, oh, fine, I'll go with you, we'll go together and all. He said, I don't want to hear anything scary. So they did go to the doctor, and after they did all their, after what we do, we'll get your medical history, your allergies, and everything, the physical examination, and all that. They listened to his heart, and they said, "Wait a second." And the doctor's like, "Wait a second. I do need you to go to the emergency room, though, because I'm not comfortable with what's going on here. Go to the emergency room and get checked." He goes, "Oh, great. This is not what I wanted to do." He said, "No, you go to the emergency room right now. It's really important that you do go to the emergency room right now." And when they went there, they sat there for a while and they said, "No, go right in." They were called, and he went right in and all that. And they did vital signs. That they put an EKG on. There was the little strips that they put in the electrocardiogram. So they did that, and they said, "Wait a second." They did the ultrasound, their heart right away, and right away they said, "Okay, something's going on there." Something started looking funky in the heart monitor. They sent him right away. They sent him directly into the cardiac cath lab. When they went in there to where they go into the little incision through your thigh, they can do that to your arm too now, but it went through his thigh and went straight to his heart and all that. And they found out that he had as a major blockage when he came out. and he was fine. Okay, after that, they did a procedure and all, and the doctor told her, said, you know what, he had the blockage that is called a widowmaker, where it's like the part of your heart is like completely blocked, and it blocks the oxygen and the blood flow from going to the whole side of the heart, and that can just stop the heart. And most of the time, they call widowmaker. 12% of people, only 12% of people who have that, when they suffer a heart attack outside of the hospital, will survive. If you happen to be in a hospital and you have that, still symptoms and all, 20, you have a 25% survivor rate. That's still like 75% of people who will die. So just imagine if he had gone overseas, because he was planning to go. And if he had gone, he more than likely would have died. More than likely would have died, because again, the healthcare system back home is not that great. Or who knows, he would have died like maybe right while he was still in the plane and all that. So it's very important. Okay, he thank his she said every time she brings it up to him, he's like, okay, yeah, 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 okay, so but he is very grateful, because I mean, why is he, I think she's like 49 years old. So just imagine, 49 years, still pretty young. Okay, so you still have almost like what, another more years to live. So why not do that? So it's very important that we try to get our mental out there. Now, not everything is going to be that severe. Okay, it could just be, okay, maybe something's wrong and you just need to follow up, but it could be that severe. Like I always tell people, sometimes the first sign of a heart attack is a heart attack, and sometimes the first sign of a stroke is a stroke. Okay, so it's important. All right. So let me just go in here. So let's start the program here. Please share the show. Please share the show. Okay, so let me just give a little bit of background here. According to a survey performed by the Cleveland Clinic, 72% of men admitted they rather do household chores, such as cleaning the bathroom, than go to see a doctor. Well, there's a feeling of vulnerability, because sometimes you don't want to feel helpless. Most men, it's like you're raised to feel, okay, yes, I have to be strong for my family, I have to be strong for myself and all. And a vulnerability to come with talking openly and honestly about one's health, the misconception that seeking medical care is a sign of weakness, the resistance to spending money, or any other host of reasons men cite for avoiding the doctor's office. The consequences of putting up regular care are serious. Compared to women, men are at increased risk of experiencing complications from high blood pressure. Again, you want to make sure, because high blood pressure can lead to stroke, kidney disease, and all that. Suffering from prostate, men only, or colorectal cancers, and all developing diabetes. Okay. So, how do we convince the men in our lives that it's important? So, let's start the 5 ways we can do that. Okay. Again, men are not babies, and we're not implying that here. Okay. So, let's start how we can do that. Again, this could be your father, your brother, boyfriend, a male, adult male in your life that you have some kind of influence over, because sometimes your sister will have influence over a brother, stuff like that. Okay. So let's go in here and see. Let's do our banners. Hold on 1 second here for me. Okay. So, number one, you want to be supportive, okay? So when you've tried everything and he still doesn't want to go, he's giving you so many other reasons and all that, so many obstacles and all, you start worrying about it, and he's afraid of receiving some kind of bad news. Just kind of explain, and it's like, it's very important, okay? You want to go to the family doctor, because again, being a primary care provider as I am, it's not just, you coming here, we take care of everything, but at the same time, you come, we do your physical examination, you talk about your medical history, your family history, which is very important of that, because sometimes some people might say, oh, my father died from this, or my father had this, and I know that's what they're going to tell me. Doesn't necessarily mean that you have it, but if you do have it, or chances of you developing it, you can delay that. Or also, if you have it, we can control it. We have so many medications, there's so many other therapies out there that can control that. So it's important. You want to be supportive. Say, I know, I understand that, and I know what you mean, and I know you're scared. I'm just saying, please, let's just go to get a check. And if there's anything there, they can check it out, because you don't want to wait for much later when things will get much worse. So be very supportive. I know sometimes it can be a little annoying that I've already explained it so many times. I'm trying to tell him to go and he doesn't want to go. I'm getting a little frustrated. Take it day by day. Okay. Start slow and start talking about it. Let's just go for your annual visits. At least let's go to your annual visits first. Okay. So you can start making them around. Usually when I do my annual visits, I try to arrange it around my birthday. Also for my mammogram, I try to arrange it around my birthday or around that time. So he said, let's do that, and then we can celebrate your birthday later. Okay, so go in there. If he talks about spending money, oh, most of the doctors they just want to take my money. Think about it. Primary care, most annual visits are like it's like completely covered. Okay, so you come in there, you do your stuff. We order your testing, your preliminary testing, like the testing that you have to have. Like we check for your anemia, infection. We checking for your blood sugar, your kidney levels. We're checking for your cholesterol level and all that too. So we some in most doctors' office they can do all the blood work right there, or they'll give you your slip, or you can go get your lab done in case. So you want to call first, make sure that you have, if you're going to be doing my blood work right there, did I have breakfast? And also ask them, am I doing my blood work there, right there, or do I have to go somewhere else later on and at another time? So make sure you call first when you make your appointment. That way, he doesn't eat in the morning and he can get his blood work when he gets there. And you want to make it early too, because you don't want to be starving all day until you get to the doctor's office. Okay, so do that, or you can do it somewhere else, but make sure you ask that first. Okay, because if you tell him, oh my goodness, oh, that means I have to be hungry and I have to do this and I have to go somewhere else, to try to make it at least a convenience. Okay, make it a little more convenient for him. Alrighty, and also you want to prioritize your health. You say, you love me, I love you, we have children. If you have children, or if you have, especially if you have children, the kids are growing up. We want to be there for them. So please, can you please just do this for me, okay? Do all that. Don't get to the point where you're like getting so pissed off. And if you start getting mad and all that, just gotta slow back. And especially if he starts resisting, just slow back and then bring it up another time, okay? And sometimes when you just sitting there watching TV and you just see something, just bring it up. Just just nonchalantly, just bring it up. That way, he doesn't feel like you're just saying it in his ear all the time, and he's like, oh great, she's gonna bring it up again. Oh great, she's gonna bring it up again. So just gonna bring it up nonchalantly, or when you're driving somewhere, just bring it up. Okay. And above all, remind him that you love him, that everybody, the kids love him, and you want to see him, healthy and happy, right? Okay. So let's go in here. So number two, how can another way to do that is to help him get started. Alrighty. So for some reason, men, like some men organizing a trip to the doctor's office can be a little, be like, oh great, I have to do this, I have to do that. So like that, I've alluded to that. So you can call a scheduled appointment. Say, okay, I'm gonna call and schedule the appointment, because most people, their husband and wife, they have the same doctors anyways. So I'm gonna call and schedule the appointment. Which day will be best for you? Pick like 2 to 3 days in between there and say which day would be best for you. Don't just say when do you want to go, because if you're in March, it could be like December. So just say let's pick this day. I know you're going to be off this time, or when you go when is your vacation or whatever. Let's just do that and just pick the day and go. It's also good to get a doctor's too when you call, to get a doctor that's like have like real available hours. Sometimes it's like 9 to 5, and some doctors have hours later on in the evening. Some doctor's office also has some Saturday hours too. So you can do that. You can call and say, I'll make the appointment and pick one of these days and we can go there. Okay. Make sure that you got his summary of his health history and all that. So that way, at least you can say, okay, let's just sit down and talk about, did you ever have any surgeries? Did you have any other illness when you were younger? What kind of diagnosis you have? Well, you saw your pediatrician, right? You have all your records, because chances are more than likely, if he's much older, he doesn't have his pediatric records. But any kind of childhood diseases, your mother's history, your father's history. So have all that written down too, because sometimes when you sit in front of doctors and they're talking and people are talking to me and they like totally go blank. It's like, oh yeah, I remember that. Oh yeah, I remember that. So when did you have this done? Oh yeah, I remember that. And sometimes too, you go there and when we're asking the questions, like I said, the kind of questions that we ask to come up with a diagnosis, most of the time you ask the questions the men and it'll be like, oh, so how long you been having that pain? Yeah, it wasn't that bad. Yeah. No, no, yeah, and you're sitting there like, no, you've been having this pain, and it's like severe to a point where you're not being able to go to work. So it's important. So when you're there too, that's good. But you also want to make sure you ask him if he wants you in the doctor's office, in the room, the exam room, when you're in there too, because there are times when the husband and wife are in there, and I have asked a question before, and it gets really awkward, and you're just sitting there, and I'm staring at the computer, so I'm not looking at both of them, because it's like, okay, let's move on to the next topic. So talk about it and say you're going to be open and honest with the conversations and all. And you can also say, I don't want to answer that question. You don't have to answer the question if we ask you, okay? Or just answer it to the best ways so we can try to get to where we need to get to. All right. So get her the answers, research again, research your and choose a primary care provider. So sometimes you have to like, okay, I'm gonna look online and that's I see this doctor's name, look online and see what about them, his or her practice. Let me see their reviews. People are doing that now. Let me see their reviews and all there be times now you have to read a lot of reviews because there are times where somebody might write something, one or two things, and you'll say, oh, I'm not going there because they said that. Oh, I'm not going there. There's a lot of story behind something when they say something wrong. I'm not saying there are not providers out there who are, not less than stellar, but sometimes things happen and the patient runs with it too. Okay, so it's important that you can call, and also you can call a family member who you kind of live in the same area, and they can, house your doctor, call a friend or something like that, somebody you work with, a friendly member who's in the health field. And you also ask these like, do you have any doctors that you work with that you think I can see, and they know their bedside manner and all. Ask them, and that way he may feel a little comfortable going to go see a doctor. Okay. So it's okay. Yeah, I kind of know him, or my friend knows him, because yeah, especially like in your in immigrant community too. Usually, we all most of us will have the same doctors and all, because we'll say, oh yeah, my friend knows that person. So if they feel comfortable with them, I'm gonna go to that person, and I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go this one. So usually that's the case. So do that too. All right. And it's important to establish a relationship with your family doctor even before making the appointment. Because sometimes they might say, "I have my family doctor, but I don't have to go because I don't feel sick, so I don't have to go." But it's important at least you go for your annual visits, okay? At least once a year, and as often as they tell you to come back. Alrighty, so everything will be individualized to his care. So get the initial visit out of the way, talk to him, and and just okay, now we're gonna go. And couple of days before, start reminding him that yes, you said you're gonna go, because people would not show up. All that call and say, no, you know what, I'm not coming in. So it's important that you say, okay, we're gonna go to your appointment, right? You're gonna go, right? And do you want me to come with you? And try to make sure that you're off from work too, so that at least that way you're going. Again, we're not saying men are babies or little kids and all that too, but sometimes they just need a little nudge. And if it's your sweetheart, you want to see him healthy, right? Okay, so number three, let the facts do the talking. Okay. You don't want to go in there and start saying, oh, I heard this, and I heard that and all that. Try to I tell people not to Google this information, but it's, remember, when you Google and stuff and all that, it's a general information. It's not something that's particular to you, so you get like a baseline information. So when you go to see the doctor and all, you can say, I read about this, and you're going to be doing different tests, and then my family. So we look at all of that. Not saying not to Google. Everybody Googles eventually, so but just take that and say, and now I'm going to take this information to go see my doctor. So start talking to him. Where I read on Google, like, you go on like and CDC website, NIH website, the WHO website. Those are the reputable websites I would prefer that you go on. Okay. I read somewhere in CDC website. That's the Center for Disease Control, not the other CDC. Okay, I read somewhere that the risk of delaying your preventive care and also screenings and all that, you can come into much, it can be worse later on. Like you're in your 40s and your brother, or you're 40, 45, and your brother had colon cancer, or this person had colon cancer. And I read somewhere that you need to get tested long before the regular time when it's 50 years old, or 45 to 50 years old, because you have a higher risk of developing colon cancer. Doesn't mean you're gonna get it, but it's very, since you have a family history of it, I want you to get checked. Your brother had a heart attack around the time. This other person, you had a stroke. You had a higher risk of doing that. We all at high risk of doing or getting certain thing, having a stroke or whatever, but you had a higher risk when you have a family member, especially your first degree relative, that's like your mother, your father, your siblings, sometimes your grandparents and all. So it's important. I want you to go ahead and get checked. Okay. So I read that. It's right here. You can look at it. Let's look it up on Google. You can see that. All right. You can talk to them the benefits of receiving the care, the regular care, because you go into your doctors, they're doing your blood pressure, they're checking your heart rate, they're doing your blood work, and we're looking at the trends. We can say, okay, your cholesterol level is a little, and it's okay now, it's a little high, but we're going to check it again maybe in 6 months to see where it is. We may not have to put you on the medication right now, but maybe later on. But you can also prevent getting medication by exercising and eating healthy. Now, there are many other things too that could be going on that could cause your blood pressure to go high, kidney disease, and other things. So it's not just saying, okay, if you just eat healthy, you can have some thyroid issues too. but that's way on the other side there. So it's important that you do go and get checked and all that, at least. And every time your medications you're taking, maybe your blood pressure is better now or much lower, or your A1C that determines your blood sugar, your diabetic status. Maybe they might want to have to adjust your medicine. You may not even have to be on medications anymore. So isn't that good? I read that somewhere. My friend who works in health field, they told me something like that. So let's go get checked, right? Because sometimes you complain that you wish you didn't take any medicine. You wish you didn't take any medicine. You're eating healthy now, you're exercising, and things are looking good. Let's go get your blood work. We got it last year, it was looking good. We can do it again. Okay. And sometimes when you're taking medications to the side effects, the medication may have to be lower. Maybe your blood pressure medication is too high. You're getting a little dizzy. They may have to adjust that, and so many other things, so that you don't stop taking it until you see your doctor. Okay. So talk to him about the things, the facts. Let the facts do the talking. Alrighty. So help him understand, like there's certain things that yeah, that age, and it's normal for people your age. No, I'm not saying you're old or whatever, but there's certain things at this point in your life that to be expected. But that doesn't mean that okay, because I'm this age and this is what people my age get, so I'm okay with that. It's just that I'm just happy to be alive. You want to be healthy while you're alive. Okay. So let me take a drink of water here. So if you're just joining us, I am Abby Tyler. I'm a family nurse practitioner. Okay, and today we're talking is June is Men's Health Month, and I'm going to be doing a series on men's health. Today we're talking about tips for getting the men in your life to go get their checkups. It could be your husband, be your father, it could be your brother, male relative, and all that. Okay, so let me just see here. I'm just going to break for comments for a bit there. Fakbatilla said, following from Liberia. Thanks so much. Thank you for watching. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so number 4. So number 4 is start slow. Okay, I hope you guys are sharing the show. Number 4, start slow. So the only thing that is gonna, just go from 0 to 100 all in one day. So start slow, making him feel comfortable by accompanying him to the appointment. Again, like I said, I also have patients who their husband and wife, they always came at the same time, or like a mother, like a daughter would bring her both parents at the same time. Okay, and so most of the times, like that comfort level, you have somebody there who if you forget something, they can talk to the doctor, or just having somebody else there with you. And sometimes, you may need to you can just call your friend up and say, can you come with me? And you can go with girlfriend. If you're the girlfriend and you're looking forward to marrying this person someday, it would be kind of nice to go and get some medical history and all. So make sure, accompany him, go with him. Even if it's not your the day to get your exam and all that too, go with him. With If it's possible, go with him. Okay. And also you can be on the phone too, because sometimes I've talked to a family member. I'm in the room talking to a family member and they have their family member on the phone. So I say, do you have any questions, or do they have any questions? So they can be on the phone when you're in there too. There are times where somebody has gone to the doctor's office too, and my cousin might call and say, "Oh yeah, my cousin's a NP and all that. Can she listen in the conversation or and all that?" So that's happened too. So your relatives who also in the healthcare and available to listen on, and they're going to be okay with it, they can do that as well. Okay. So of course, lead by example, scheduling your appointment the same day if that's possible. It's not always possible that you can schedule your appointment the same day, because they might say, "Oh, we only got one room for this person." So schedule way ahead of time, so that way you can say, "I'm coming in with my husband. Can you please put us back to back?" That way, do we have the 2 slots ready for you? Okay. Increase his exposure comfort level by having him take the kids to the appointment too. So it's also important, because most times women are the one who take the kids to the pediatrician. So have him take the kids and when he's available too. Okay. So even when he's going to be uncomfortable, that's his children. So let him take his kids, so that way he can see too, yes, I'm taking my kids. And also I have to lead by example by going to my doctor's appointment as well. Okay. And sometimes, especially for provide incentives. So we'll have a dinner after that, and also again, men are not babies, so you don't have to say, "Oh, if you go, we're gonna go there and buy something really nice and all." No, you can just say, "I'm going," and after that, we can do so many things. You're a couple. Anyways. Alrighty. So then get some the other one, get support from other family members too, especially like if it's your dad. Okay. Just say your dad lives with you or live on his own, and you having a hard time, you can get a sibling that usually your dad will listen to more, because sometimes they have like children who, okay, he made, I'm the one that's really strict and all that too. So he probably thinking I'm nagging him a lot. So let me get my sister to help, or let me get my other brother to help, and all that way they can talk to him, say, come on, dad, you really have to go. Or if it's your husband, you can get his sibling or his trusted friend and just say, I'm just rolling with my husband. Is that way you can talk? I know you don't want to be putting your business out there, but there's people who he trusts and all, who is real close to, who's not going to sit there and be like, oh, and you don't have to tell them anything. Just say, can you help your friend? He needs to go to the doctor. Your man, you get to a certain point, you don't want to go. Can you just talk to him? Oh, yeah, tell him I'm worried and all, and I don't want anything happening to him and all the children here, and we all want to be able to grow old together. So can you just kind of talk to him? So sometimes you get somebody involved who can talk to them. Maybe they'll listen to. Okay, so get some, like, get support from a family member or a good friend. Okay, so again, sometimes men can be, not embarrassment at all, because sometimes they come in, they're sitting there, and I'm asking them questions about certain things that they consider very personal, that they don't want me to know, or they don't think I have in business knowing. But sometimes when they ask the questions in order to come to a diagnosis, I need to be able to ask those questions, and it can be a little uncomfortable. Even with female, when we go to the doctors, do would be like, sometimes you say that you don't want to tell the full story because why do you have to know that? Why do you have to know this and all? So it's important sometimes out of embarrassment. So you can, and so don't be expecting too much right away. Take your time, start slow, and then just do that. And just ask other people to also carry them, especially if it's like really important too. Okay. So the last one is almost like a combination of the other one. So make it easy and convenient. Okay. So sometimes they'll say, you know what, I'm not going. I'm not going. I'm not going because I have to go to the doctor's office. I have to sit in the office there with other people, because we've had people in the office where they're waiting in the office, and then somebody's like yelling over there, or the kids are running around, or they're already nervous and they don't want all that stimulation. So it's like, I'm not going. So you can also find a doctor's office too that has telehealth service. Mainly it's like they call you, and the doctor's on the computer. All right. And you can do that on your phone. You can do that on the computer. You don't necessarily have to be at home, but I always tell the patients, are you somewhere quiet, so that way, if I'm talking to you and everybody's not listening, okay, you can have your headphones on too. Okay. I've talked to people who were in the bus. I'm like, are you in the yeah, I see you on the bus. So yeah, I hope you don't, you're going to be talking back to me, even though you have the headphones on. They can't hear me, but they can hear you. So is that okay with you? All right. So you can do telehealth. I had people who I did telehealth with them, talked about everything that I needed to talk to. And I say, I'm going to send you for your blood work and everything. When the blood work comes back, I need you to come into the office then, okay? So I can do your physical examination, so we can sit there and talk about your test results. Sometimes they may come in for the initial visit and all, and then when I get the test results back, then we can have a telehealth, because they might say, I'm not going back there. No, no, I'm not going back there. I'm just no, 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 no. They will tell me whatever my blood work is. They have to call me, on the phone, so we can do that right there, okay? So it's important, because it's like important. It's like I'm looking at you and I'm talking to you. I'm also like studying everything that's going on while you're there too. Okay, so it's important. So you can do telehealth with them and all that. It's called virtual visits. So talk with your doctors and see if they offer that too. So you can say, okay, the next time, do I have to come in? Can you just do telehealth with me? And that depends on if they were, let's say if you had a wound or your blood pressure and things like that, and they needed to check over, then certain things, yes, you have to come back in. All right. So also important, making it time of day that is more convenient for him. Like again, like I said, in the morning, if he has to have blood work, make sure you call first and ask if they have to have blood work first. So you can go first thing in the morning before he goes to work. If he works, let's say 9 to 5, or they work 3 to 11, they can go in the morning. If he works 7 to 3, they can go in the evening. Find a doctor's office is very flexible. Sometimes it can be a little, inconveniencing too, because there's certain doctors that's under your insurance plan, and they may not have very flexible hours. Like, shop around. I always tell people, you can go on the website, your insurance company insurance card, the number in the back of it, member services. You can go on the website and see the different doctors, and you can go through all of them. All right. And also find an office at very flexible hours. Also, you may say, oh, I want to go to a doctor that kind of looks like me, because what if I say something and they don't understand it, or if I tell something on my skin, and you may think there's something else, because it's not used to seeing patients with certain skin color or whatever it is. Or sometimes if he tells me, cut back on your carbs, and he said, again, like I tell people, I can tell a Liberian person, cut back on your carbohydrates, and cut back on your mashed potatoes, and cut back on this. Well, that's not what we eat. We eat rice. we eat, palm butter, we eat all this different stuff. So if you're telling them this, and this, and this is not what we eat, you can't really understand that. Again, you're not always going to get a doctor that understands that or have lived experience, but that doctor's got to be willing, and you can tell. Again, like I said, you can tell that doctor is like open and willing to learn certain things, because we're supposed to do that. We're supposed to learn about your culture in order to give you the best care. Okay, like the patients I take care of, like 95% of them are like immigrants, and then they're not immigrants that look like me. So I had to learn most of their cultures as well too. Okay, so it's important. So you can be like, break it down, doc. This is the things I eat. All the things you're saying, are they part of that? And sometimes they may say, I want to go see a male doctor, because I know there were times when patients came to me and they were complaining something that had to do with their penis or something like that. And I'd be like, okay, do you want me to take a look? And they would say, but why do you have to take a look? Why can't you just send me to see the urologist? And I said, well, it's going to take a while for you to go see the urologist. You're going to be paying extra money. I can look at it. I'm trained to look at it. I'm trained to diagnose certain things on there and do some blood work and all. And then if I need to refer you to the urologist, I can do that. Or they may have something with their rectum or something like that. All right. And I said, you want me to take a look? Because I have to be, and then they feel uncomfortable too, because sometimes, especially like the, older man too. Oh yeah, this young person not gonna be, I'm not young, but compared to somebody who in the 70s, I guess so. No, you're gonna put your finger where? Or no, oh no, no. And something you have to respect that too. I'm like, okay, yeah, all right. I can send you to go see GI. I can send you to see urologist and all that too. I would do other things in the meantime. I'm not just sending you there, because I'm also trained to do certain things up to a point. So they may say, let me do that. Let me find somebody who, male doctor, or somebody that may not care. I'd be like, male, female, doesn't matter. So ask their preference and all. Already. And sometimes, again, like I say, they may want to get somebody who's around the age group. If you're older, it's not always possible. And sometimes your doctor may be somebody in the 20s, 30s. And okay, so maybe this person understands my thing. And my wife's already nagging me. So I don't want to go to some young buck who may not understand what I'm going through. Or I don't want to go to some old person who's too old to understand and like fidgeting around with the computer and things like that. So we're just like you. Okay. We have the same things that we go through, where this age or that age will go through that. Okay. So make it convenient. And also, sometimes you say, okay, we'll pick this doctor that's close to home. So you just have to drive like a short distance, or maybe this one's on your way to work. So that way, so try to do that. Make it in the way where as convenient as possible. So that way he understands that, yeah, really, I guess she really wants me to go. So let me go. Okay. So some of the things to kind of avoid too. Let me see. I don't see any questions there. Some of the things to kind of avoid, strategies to avoid. Okay. Um, Sometimes you may get to a point where you're like feeling really and like frustrated, and he doesn't want to go. So no matter how desperate you talk, and just avoid doing it. Don't, especially when you're like, again, like I said, with men, don't sit there and be making them feel that, oh yeah, like there's some little kid that you have to talk down to them. Don't, avoid it lecturing. Bring it up every once in a while, but don't have that long speech about, oh, I want you to go. And if you don't go, and then if something happens to you and me and the kids, and then don't start like that. Just take it easy, and every once in a while bring it up. Okay. Don't do any nagging. I hate to use that word, because it's always like feminine, but don't make it long. Don't just long story daily, daily, daily. Just bring it up every once in a while. Okay. Don't get into a heated conversation. All right. If it starts getting to a point where he's like, oh my God, you just want me to do this. And then, okay, let it go. Just let it go, let it go, let it go. Just say, and then when he does go to the doctor's office and something find out, don't say, I told you so. Just say, oh, I'm so happy that you finally got the answers that we're looking for. And I'm here to help you get well. I'm help you to manage those things. Okay. So what do you do in extreme circumstances? If they decide, your dad, your father, your dad or father, your husband too, if they don't want to do it, just make sure, especially when it comes to older person too, you don't have to engage in any unhealthy behaviors. If they say, oh, they're smoking so much and they're coughing, oh, can you just run to the store and buy my cigarettes? No, dad, I won't do that. Or somebody saying that, oh, how come you're not cooking this thing? Or I like to have these, if you go shopping, if you're the one that, that does the shopping at home, I'm not buying certain healthy. I'm not buying unhealthy things. Or why didn't you buy it? If he wants it, let him go buy it himself. And if he does the shopping and all that, oh, you both can go shopping together. He doesn't have to be the one, and just sit there and just try to like steer him away from certain things that, like, honey, I'm really concerned. All right. I know you don't want to go see the doctors, but at the same time, can you try to be a little healthy when we're doing this? Because I really want you around. The bottom line is, you just want to make sure that you love him, that he knows that he's loved. Okay. And you're really there for him. Okay. So So make it clear, but just say, "I'm you love you. I'm not, but I'm not going to participate in things that are unhealthy for you. I'm not. If you want to do that, if you want to stay up and sleep much later and then not getting enough sleep to go, to get ready to rest and recover for the next day, you want to sit and be smoking or not getting enough exercise and all that too. I'm not going to be there. I'm just going to go and go exercise. I'm going to go and eat healthy. Once, and whoever does the cooking, if he does the cooking, you can kind of move things around. If you do the cooking, you cook healthy, you and the kids are eating healthy, eventually he's going to have to eat healthy. He's gonna be like, okay, fine, because or he's not gonna want to be cooking his own food, or if he does cook his own food, because my husband cooks, and my uncle when I live where he cook, most of the men in my family they cook too, so and they cook good. So he'd be like, okay, let's not eat that, and just keep on saying that, like just tell them and say, you know what, you have a really gorgeous wife who is me, and all that too, and I want you to be healthy. So just think about if anything happens to you, like all these men around here, they might be trying to talk to me, so you don't want that, right? Hmm. You can use the feminine wise. Anyway, so but but the most important thing is just remember, it's not gonna happen overnight. And he's gonna resist. Some men have no problems going to the doctors, by the way. So for you men who are like that, good for you. So, but he's going to resist and all that. But just make sure you're there. Say, I'm here to help you. I love you, and I'm not going to nag you about it. But you remember, you said you're going to go get checkup and all. And I'm worried about the kind of symptoms you're talking about, and it could be something more serious, or it could be something nothing and nothing serious. But I just want you at least go to your family doctor and get the help that you need. Okay. So anyways, I don't see any questions and all that too. So I'm available to, I'm always available to answer questions when you guys leave it in the comment section. And if you're watching from Focus on Liberia, I can also answer questions there too. If you're watching from Focus on Liberia, also I ask you to please join, like and follow Abby Tyler's Healthy Living page. Okay, make sure it's Abby Tyler's Healthy Living page, because I put daily videos during the week that doesn't show up on Focus on Liberia. So I don't want you missing anything that could help you, all right, you or your family member. And also, I'm also on YouTube too, all right? So for those of you who don't frequent YouTube. So, let's continue the conversations in the comment section. All right. I'm always available to answer questions and all. Again, like I said, June is Men's Health Month, and I'll be doing a series on men's health. Okay. So I want to thank you all for watching. For those of you who are watching now, please give me a thumbs up. Please give me a thumbs up. Please give me a thumbs up. Okay. Anything there, give me a thumbs up. For those of you who are watching now, I say thank you. For those of you who will be watching later, I say thank you also. And again, like I said, I'm trying to raise money so I can pay for this software, because I pay for it every month in order to come on the live Facebook live thing. I want to be able to do graphics, and I can do that on just do Facebook Live. Okay. So if you like what I do and you appreciate what I do, just send me a star. Okay. So that way I can just put the money right back into the program. I'm not putting the money in my pocket. All right. So I'm not at a point yet where I'm making money from Facebook. I just want to put it right back into that. Alrighty. So thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. Please share the show. Please share the show. Please share the show. And I'll see you again on Abby's Daily Dose, once or twice, 2 to 3 times a week, and also every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay, so share the show, and thank you all for watching. And I look forward to seeing you again. You stay well, stay healthy, stay safe. Okay, good night.